Ladies and gentlemen, this is the map Lowtown inside of Black Ops 6, but what you may not realize is it is set inside of the new Warzone map, and we're going to take a little adventure through because there are so many things pointing towards this being the new Warzone map, expected to be called Avalon, coming later in the Black Ops 6 series. Now, we all know, 100% confirmed, Verdansk is coming back next year. We're expecting it likely to be at the 5-year anniversary, so sometime in the spring of next year. But I didn't realize, and this was originally shown to me by a member of my community who watched Geeky Pastimes take a look, is you can go through, throw on COD mode spectator, CODcaster, and adventure the entire map. So we're going to go through this together. We're going to look through some of the main POIs, and then comment down below if you have any timestamps. There are all these old maps that are being transplanted into this Avalon Warzone map. So I'd love to see if you guys know from these textures what maps are which. Now, some of these buildings are going to be very low poly, low texture because they are just being rendered off in the distance. But a lot of these buildings are actually developed out really well. So we'll get some good looks at some of the POIs. The very first one is like a giant Coliseum that looks like there might be like an EDM festival or something inside. We've got like some vineyards and some ruins. This was one of the buildings that was actually textured out pretty well. And I really like how they're building out the forest in this game. This is a lot more of like a PUBG vibe for me. Typically when they do trees inside of Warzone, it's something like that, where it's just like a tree, like random trees where you can't really branch any cover together. But I really like how all of these trees, you can maybe play behind 2 or 3 trees to actually build out some decent cover and not just concealment. You can see here, they've reused some of the assets, very similar from what we've seen in other games, little gas station vibe. The colors, everything, it just gives me the perfect combo of like Blackout and Caldera and Verdansk, and I'm super excited. I mean, I'm really enjoying Black Ops 6 multiplayer. This is the most I've enjoyed multiplayer in a long time. So then to just imagine moving through this with Omni movement is going to be such a blast. So we have some things here that are a little bit more countryside, urban, not urban, but like ruins. Everything's kind of broken down. But as we move through, you'll see we've got downtown areas, we've got museums, we've got tennis courts, we have a golf course, we have an F1 racetrack. This is going to be a sick map. And honestly, it looks so big, it should probably be a 150 player map, not none of the small map stuff anymore. So you'll see here just kind of how these buildings are all designed. They have a lot of the similar like design language that we've seen in other maps, right? Where it's got all these different traversal points where you can be jumping up, mantling up, working your way upstairs. Sniper lighthouse up there. That's going to be a lot of fun to break. Only thing I'm not liking about this map is I'm seeing a lot of water. So hopefully they have some other ways to get around the map. Obviously, we're going to have the ascenders. We're going to have the zip lines. Maybe they add some, more jet skis and boats. But hopefully they find some ways to make it a little bit more dynamic. So moving over into this area before we get into some really sweet areas later in the map. This kind of reminds me of the Blackout power plant area. I think it was like over on like the north side of the map across from the river. More little power plant, oil refinery type of things happening here. This is kind of, I imagine, going to be the slower playing side of the map, where if you want it to be a little bit more chill, you want to pick up a sniper, post up a little bit, I think this is kind of the vibe as we move through here. This map is massive. So we're going to be flying through it pretty quick. But once again, timestamp down below if you recognize any of these POIs as maps inside of old Black Ops maps. I'm pretty sure that's a Black Ops map, but I can't remember exactly what it is. Moving through here, again, similar vibes. And then we head over to this sort of seaport area. It is a lot of water. It is a lot of water. We'll have to see. Hopefully they balance that part out well. Or at least maybe allow us to shoot our guns like regular SMGs and ARs inside of water instead of just pistols. But hey, a guy can dream. Moving across, we've got the bridge. This reminds me of when you used to wingsuit off of bridges inside of Blackout. Flying up here, there isn't a bunch of verticality, right? If we were to look at something like Caldera, there was one central high ground. And it honestly looks like this might be the highest point on the entire map. Unless maybe we'll go adventure off into those mountains, but I'm pretty sure that's outside of the map. This could be the highest point in the entire map. That's not bad, considering how we've had like Caldera Peak, Al Mazrah Downtown, Al Mazrah Peak as well. So hopefully this will make for some more fun. And I honestly love having all of these wooded areas, because with how dense these trees are, I really worry about things like Verdansk trying to cross through open fields. But if you have some dense tree lines to work through, I think it's going to play really well. But real quick, before we explore the rest of the map, I want to thank the sponsor who helps make videos like this possible. Today, it's PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million users. And you guys know you can build lineups on esports like Valorant, Call of Duty League, Counter-Strike, and more. But of course, you're going to have the classics like the MLB World Series we've got going on, and of course, Sunday Night Football. Tonight, we have the Cowboys taking on the 49ers, and I have CeeDee Lamb for more, Brandon Aubrey and Carlson for more than a 48-yard, and then Jordan Mason for more than 82 rush yards. If you guys are interested in checking out PrizePicks, you can click the link down in the pinned comment or the description. A huge thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so back to it. It looks like we, for the first time, have a hospital that's kind of based around a port. As you can see, there's a lot of helipads through here, so there's probably going to be multiple helicopter spawns. A nice little sniper tower up here. And then as we move forward, kind of more of like this old school, you know, rural vibe. We got like an older bridge here that's kind of collapsed and barely together. And then now we'll start to move towards a lot more of the modern part of this map. So obviously we've got the village that we worked through earlier, more of kind of these ruins vibe. And then it starts to get a little bit more modern. We have once again some of these repeated assets. Now we have a liquor store. We have the same gas station that we saw earlier. Who knows? After all the SBMM and cheaters that we're inevitably going to run into, I might need to make a stop inside of there. Now, this area right here kind of reminds me of the construction area from the OG Blackout map. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to fight in through there, work our way down. Looks like they'll have some pool areas in there. Oh my God, they have a little lazy river. Like this map looks, it's got a lot of personality. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be adventuring through the golf course. And some of this I'm exploring for the first time with you all. So I cannot wait to get on this map. So this is a little bit more of the countryside, kind of the last remnants of it as we move through the rest of the map. If you guys recognize any of these parts of the map, let me know. I'm wondering, is this Hacienda? I think that's the name of the map. There's a Black Ops 4 map that's like inside of a mansion that has a central courtyard. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. It had like the luxury cars out front. I'll have my editor overlay it on screen. I'm pretty sure that's what that was right there. Moving through here, this looks like a lot of open space. Obviously, this isn't the final map, but we got to make sure, hopefully, we don't have too much. And again, we don't want all urban where people are just camping inside of buildings. So hopefully they strike a nice balance. Moving over here. Oh my gosh, that is a huge area over there. This map is huge. Like even with zip lines and everything, I feel like this is going to take forever to transit the entire map. Up here, we're kind of moving into like some hillside estates, getting a little bit more modern, getting a little more classy. As we move across, looks like we've got some tennis courts. Your boy's a tennis player, so I'm liking this area a lot. It's a lot more vibrant and a lot more colors. Like the Area 99 map that we played at Call of Duty Next was boring. Not necessarily the map itself was boring, but the color palette was so dull. But this reminds me of the Verdansk train station. Looks like they've already got some ascenders built in, some drop down points where you can fight inside of the train station. You could spend so much time exploring this. Like go in, all you have to do is open up Lowtown. You open up a spectator preview and you load in not as a spectator, but as a codcaster. And then you turn off all the HUD elements, and then you can just fly around. So that area over here is Lowtown, right? This is the actual Lowtown multiplayer map. That's why these textures are so high, and you can actually see things loading in high quality. I have some bots fighting over on this side of the map. It extends out into more areas. I feel like they should just add... The Black Ops 6 gameplay plays so well, but I feel like they need to add in like some ground war maps, because every single map being so tiny or only 6v6, they need to add in some 12v12, because it's a beautiful map, a great game engine, but man, the maps in this map are kind of bad. A sweet little area where you can jump some cars over, head underneath into a subway system, and then fly into, expecting a little bit more of a downtown area, kind of like a modern apartment complex. Moving over to some more bridges. A lot of water, unfortunately, seems to be a common trend. We've got some train stations. I wonder if they're going to have a train moving through the map, kind of like Urzikstan we have right now. That's the area that we've already explored. It looks like the most basic and boring only one little carnival circus wheel. That'd be pretty cool though, Ferris wheel, if you could actually get inside of there and like snipe on top of that just for the meme. A lot of water. A lot of water. A lot of water. That was kind of one nice thing about Verdansk is they would, like, the water was all frozen over. They didn't have water mechanics. So even if there was water in open spaces, you basically were just walking on ice. Here we have some more like kind of observatory, some more ruins, some more water. This is kind of giving me a little bit of Fortune's Keep vibes. A lot of water. Okay, I was really optimistic when I was first going through the map, but I just... if they could fill up the rest of that dead space with actual usable map area. I don't know if that's like an intentional design language thing where they try to delay the engagements by giving more water. Like if that slows down rotations and it slows down, because everything that they do at the studios is all data driven. Everything is all down to, okay, well, we have the ideal number of engagements per second, per minute. And I wonder if that's why they add so much water, because there's no way it's easier on the graphics engine, I wouldn't imagine, to render all the water. But let me know what you think so far about the map. Now, there are some more promising sides of the map, like this right here, a giant stadium kind of going back to the Verdansk era. Now, we actually have this map. This is called Red Card inside of Black Ops 6 multiplayer, or at least maybe they're reusing some of the assets from it. Maybe this side of the map. Yeah. So like right here is you would go through here. There's a bomb site in through here. And then, yep, there are these lanes on the outside. So that's the Red Card map. I'm surprised they don't have it in a high-res asset. But probably if I were to load into Red Card in multiplayer and go into spectator, it would throw me in there in higher res. Moving through here. Some more of like the mansions, estates, kind of the Black Ops 4 vibes that especially we would get a lot of inside of Blackout. This is the city that we were inside of earlier. I think these areas are going to be pretty fun to fight inside of, working your way across these high grounds. But once again, more of these kind of separations. And it looks like, oh, this is the grandstand for like an F1. It looks like there's a little F1 racetrack that moves through this city. Interesting. Okay. So it's almost like so there's probably some F1 fanboy that can correct me, like a Monaco, a race inside of a city, and then you could rip through here. Oh, that would be cool. What if so I've been playing a lot of Off the Grid, and one of the challenges or like contracts inside of Off the Grid was like wingsuiting through tracks. I wonder if they could have like a contract where you have to finish a racetrack. I think that would be pretty fun. So you like get inside of a dune buggy, or you get inside of even an F1 car would be pretty sweet. And you race through, and you have to basically complete a time trial. And if you complete that time trial, then you get some money. That'd be pretty sweet. Moving on. Once again, some more kind of reused assets. We've got the gas station. Looks like maybe another liquor store or like a DVD store. Back up through here, we have a little golf course, getting classy. So we have a clubhouse, some pools. See, like, I would never want to go on vacation to, like, a Caldera. Al-Mazrah was kind of bland. Get me an Avalon. Like, they've got F1 tracks. They've got city skyscrapers. They've got a golf course. I'm not classy enough to know anything about golf. If someone wants to educate me, someone wants to take me on an all-expense-paid golf trip, just let me know. Say the word. I'll be there. And I think with that, we have covered everything inside of the map. And the rumor is that this is based in France. Obviously, French flag there kind of helps to give that away. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Is there any part of the map that I missed? Is there any part of the map that you're excited to play? Anything that you recognize from other Call of Duties? Because oftentimes they reuse multiplayer assets. For me, this is super exciting. It looks bold, vibrant, beautiful. The only thing that worries me is water. But as long as they have either a lot of zip lines to get across water or a lot of redeploy parachutes that you can fly across the water, I won't mind it too much. It seems like they have just the right amount of verticality where they have these natural progressions up the hills that are going to be really fun to fight. Like the map design is awesome. There's not one central peak that you have to fight up. It's just these gradual fights up hills. Like, I do think this is going to play very, very well for a battle royale. But the map looks huge. Like, I'm full speed sprinting across with my spectator camera, and I just feel like it keeps going and going and going. Now, obviously, I think this is kind of like the natural terrain. Like, obviously, it's not going all the way up into the hills. You can kind of read the map language where, like, this is going to be the out of bounds. And those terrains, those little high grounds, that's going to be the out of bounds. But it doesn't look like we'll be able to go all the way up there. I'm unfortunately not seeing any airports where we're going to get any fighter planes back. You know, I'm a little heartbroken about that. But we're just kind of going to let it roll. If you guys didn't know about this and you're excited about this new map or just in general anything for Call of Duty, make sure to drop a like on the video. I want to adventure around, make sure I didn't miss anything. Once again, I think that's drawing a blank, not estate. I'm drawing a blank on the name of that map. I'm pretty sure that's the map with like the giant golden statue out front and the really nice cars. Construction area is going to be a lot of fun, though it doesn't look as drastically tall as like the blackout construction area. All the pools. We visited a little train station earlier. That's probably going to be a hot drop. One of the bad things about Urzikstan right now is you have a hot drop like Superstore, but then so much dead space around that, right? So Verdansk was amazing because you would have Superstore, and then it was surrounded by hangars, PG, the Virgin Towers over by Promenade. You had Storage Town on the other side, the airport. It was so dense, and there was so much action. Where, at least in this area, it kind of seems like there's some hot spots, but then you just have these giant breakups to the flow of the map. And like this over here, I mean, that's gonna play slow. All of this, like, we know that we're gonna have some end zones ending in the water, and that's not gonna be fun. But at the end of the day, I always talk about how the mood of the map matters a lot. Like, when I'm walking around a video game, I want it to be fun. I want the dopamine going off in my brain. I want to be playing in a map that I would want to visit in real life. And this definitely gives those vibes. And of course, Verdansk is definitely going to give those vibes. But for the first time in a long time, Urzikstan I enjoyed, but I think I enjoyed the gameplay mechanics on Urzikstan more. Al Mazrah I loved. Al Mazrah was an awesome map, but the mechanics were horrid. Caldera, bad. Good mechanics by the end of it, especially with the Raven software quality of life stuff. You got kind of like a little cargo area in through here. But this, we already know Omni movement's going to be insane. Beautiful colors. Back on Verdansk, I really think we're in for a really solid few years of COD. Someone's burning out some donuts in there. These maps have a lot of personality, man, and I really hope that this drops. If they could pull it off and they could be tight-lipped and have this map to launch for like season 1 on November 14th, I would be so happy. I really don't want to go back to Urzikstan. Urzikstan's a great map, but playing it for a year and a half, an entire year with no ranked, oh. This, the latest leaks are pointing towards 2025, which is heartbreaking. Like fall of 2025, like the next Call of Duty release. I'm not loving that. But at least we get Verdansk in the spring. At least the multiplayer is fun. We do get Area 99. And at the end of the day, we know Call of Duty, they love to just do content drip. They love to do content drip and just barely keep us interested in the game. But when this map does come, I'll be excited for it. So I think we explored every part of it. I'm surprised they didn't put some sort of, block off on the terrain to where we, couldn't access these areas. But this seems like the new Warzone map. Whether it's Warzone 2025 or whether it's a surprise release for later in the year, it seems like it's all dev'd out. It really does. Throw in some high textures, and this is going to be a stunning map to play on. But I think that is it. We will fly off into the sunset. We'll get one last huge aerial view, and then we'll call it a video. If you guys are enjoying the Black Ops 6 and Warzone content, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. Continue to support the channel. Thank you again to PrizePicks for sponsoring the video. You can check them out down in the pinned comment or the description. And with that, this looks like a first look at a new Warzone map. with a lot of water. But outside of that, a lot of great features. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can find out about all things. We covered a lot. Console settings, PC settings, the best way to unlock camos, the best XP method for an invincibility glitch that you need to take advantage of, or even then just the some other XP farming methods. Make sure to check out the rest of my videos if you haven't already. We're in for a good year. I'll see you all in the next one.